But I prefer my sex partners have female penises, which only can happen when you take hormones. So if Faith's penis hasn't transitioned into a female penis, it will affect the physical aspect of the relationship.
Having only just navigated the whole gonorrhea incident, Loren's attention has now turned to his weird sex life. But while it remains to be seen whether or not Faith's genitalia lives up to his expectations, in the meantime, he's also out to manipulate her.
Would you want that? Right? Get some money, buy your family a house, live in Leyte? With your family? Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about, Loren? You're broke, you're homeless, you're jobless. In what alternate reality are you buying Faith and her family a home? Well, before we get into that, let's rewind to the start. So, the last we saw the pair, Faith was reluctantly agreeing to give Loren a second chance. But he's lost all boyfriend privileges. In fact, he's been downgraded to friend status for now.
2 days ago, I told her I had gonorrhea, and that's how she realized I was sleeping with other people. Didn't go over very well.
Yeah, that is the understatement of the century. But sadly, it's now pretty clear that Faith's standards, her self-worth, are on the floor. Anyone with any self-respect would have kicked this guy to the curb already. Now, the thing is, even before this whole sleeping with other people and gonorrhea thing came to light, Loren and Faith had planned to go and visit Faith's family in a small Filipino island called Leyte. But while they haven't cancelled those plans, while she'll now be introducing him as a friend, not a lover, this doesn't appear to have stopped Loren from being stupidly optimistic.
I still got the ring, still got the dream. Hopefully, just a matter of time before I go back into boyfriend zone so that I can find out if me and Faith are really going to be together forever.
Wait, so he told Faith 2 days ago that he'd been cheating on her for the entirety of their relationship, and yet now he thinks a proposal is on the cards. He thinks now is the perfect time for that. I mean, this guy is on a whole different planet to the rest of us. Like, he just can't read the room, can he? It's hilarious that he genuinely seems to think that Faith would consider marrying him, when she can't even stomach the idea of swimming in the same water as him.
I don't think gonorrhea gonna spread on the beach.
Yeah, you must have put some plastic on it.
No, it's not leaking anymore.
Okay.
I think the pills is no leaking. It's good to go.
Yeah.
No more sludge.
I'm starting to get the impression that Loren gets some kind of kick from disgusting everyone around him. I mean, why else would he refer to his own leaky penis as sludge? But as the pair get on the plane to Leyte, Faith reveals that now that Loren is just a friend in her eyes, it's actually, weirdly, benefiting their relationship.
Now that I put Loren in the friend zone, I feel less pressure around him. I don't worry about if he likes me or if I'm good enough.
Isn't that sad? Isn't it sad that Faith was worried she wasn't good enough for Loren? I mean, it should be the other way round. He should be worrying about whether or not he's good enough for her. And spoiler alert, he isn't. But, ironically, now that she doesn't really care about Loren's opinion anymore, Faith can finally relax and be herself. They can actually get to know each other properly. And that begins with Faith asking Loren about his living situation.
So how you long to stay in Las Vegas?
9 months?
Almost 9 months.
Yeah. But I need to get out of Vegas now.
We know you do, Loren. We know all about it, mate. We know you have no income, no job, no prospects, and your big plan to get out of trouble is to fly to the Philippines and live off Faith. But with Faith now seemingly more relaxed around Loren, she's even able to make fun of him and his wandering dick. You and your dick are gonna miss all the girls you slept with in Vegas, she jokes. But it's at that point she gets more information than she was bargaining for.
You're so lonely. you miss girls.
No, I'm usually bottom.
Huh?
I don't bottom. My penis, I don't use it, like in the bedroom.
In classic Loren fashion, he shares information that no one asked for. But the thing is, this insight about his bedroom activities, whilst making Faith laugh, also gives her cause for concern. You see, as a trans woman, she also prefers that position because she sees it as more feminine.
I'm a trans woman. I just want to be feel that I am a woman. So I'm always the bottom, and I'm very surprised that he's a bottom also. So how do we do sex?
Okay, now it makes sense why Loren was so adamant he find a trans woman who still has a penis. But Faith has raised an interesting question. Maybe these two aren't compatible in or out of the bedroom, but more on that later. Now, for the time being, the pair check into their hotel, but now that they're friends, not lovers, some slight adjustments will need to be made to their plans.
Miss, do you have a extra room available tonight?
Okay, ma'am. Let me check it first,
Okay.
our calendar. Yes, ma'am. We have available room for you.
So, who's paying for this room? They don't show on camera, but as far as we've been told, Loren has no money, right? Now, while it was Loren who paid for this trip ages ago, he was also the one that showed up to Manila with $46 in his pocket. So I think it's safe to assume that this extra room will be paid for on Faith's dime. But whoever it is that did pay, Loren isn't happy. You see, he's concerned that this will prevent Faith from moving forward with him.
Sleeping in separate rooms slows down the relationship process, the partner building process. And the one thing we don't have is time.
Faith wants to slow things down because Loren betrayed her. But Loren, well, he wants to speed things up. He wants to know definitively whether or not Faith will marry him, whether or not he'll be able to stay in the Philippines. Now, he does have some completely wild promises that he's going to pull out of his arse later on this episode. But for now, the pair jump on a bus, and it's here that Faith reveals for the first time that she's not taking any female hormones, which, it's safe to say, alarms Loren.
But I prefer my sex partners have female penises, which only can happen when you take hormones. So if Faith's penis hasn't transitioned into a female penis, it will affect the physical aspect of the relationship.
Remember how I said that these two were incompatible in and out of the bedroom? Yeah, here's what I meant. Loren's unique, niche, peculiar, whatever you want to call it, his preferences look like they're going to get in the way. Now, while Faith does admit that she does one day want to start hormones, for right now, they're just too expensive. So will that be a deal breaker for Loren? I mean, for someone as sex crazed as he is, you've got to imagine it might be. At least it might be one day.
If she's willing to take hormones, then we can fix that really quick. But I mean, out of all the things to worry about, that's not something I really care about at this moment.
That's an interesting choice of word, isn't it? Fix. It's something we can fix real quick, he said. I mean, it says everything that you need to know about this guy. That he's just assumed the right to have a say on her genitalia. Like, you just know, don't you? You know just from everything about this slimy guy that he will heap pressure on Faith. He will try and push her into taking hormones in order to make him happy. It speaks volumes about how he sees her as an object and not a person. But we see just how human Faith is when she begins to open up about her mother. Everything I do, she tells Loren, is for my mum.
I'll give her, a good life, a good house. That's my goal in my life.
Yeah. How much would the house cost that you're talking about?
Faith's goal is to buy a home for her family. That is why she works in Manila, to earn a higher income. Now, when Loren asks, how much does it actually cost to buy a home in Leyte? Faith reveals that it costs about 100,000 Filipino pesos, the equivalent of about $2,000. It's not a lot, right? It's a relatively modest sum, but it's more than Loren has. And yet, in a bid to try and get back into Faith's good books, Loren begins making promises that it's highly dubious he'll be able to keep.
Would you want that? Right? Get some money, buy your family a house, live in Leyte? With your family? Yeah.
What Loren's doing here is cruel. He's waving Faith's dreams, he's dangling them in front of her nose, implying that he's going to help her with these dreams, when in fact he can't. He doesn't have the means with which to do it. His mouth is writing checks that his arse can't cash. Like, maybe fix your own living situation before promising to buy someone you've never met before a house. He's chatting crap, isn't he? He's making vague promises, inferences, in the hope that it might get Faith to stay with him long term. I'm sorry, this is a guy with no job, no money, and absolutely no right to be putting these ideas into Faith's head.
I know by American standards, I don't have any money, but I put a lot of thought into this. If I work my butt off and try really hard, I could eventually save up the $2,000+.
You've put a lot of thought into this, Loren. Right, okay. You've put a lot of thought into it, and the best you could come up with is you're going to work your butt off and try really, really hard. Great plan. Yeah, really strikes me with confidence. Like, this is a guy who, when he knew he was leaving America, he thought he'd be leaving for good. The most he could save was $46. How will this time be any different? And thankfully, Faith seems to have learnt from her mistakes. As they board the boat to the island, she reveals she doesn't believe a word he's saying.
But I know that Lawrence has no money, that, he's homeless. I worry he could just be telling me things I want to hear.
Thank God Faith is smart enough to not buy this crap that Loren's trying to sell her. This is a guy, right? This is a guy who has no plans to return to the States. If she, a hard-working lady who speaks the language and has been working multiple jobs for many years, if she hasn't been able to save up 100,000 pesos, then what chance does he have? Yeah. You get the impression Faith is starting to wise up to this guy. He's a fantasist, a dangerous fantasist. And thankfully, it looks like she's got his card marked.
Can I kiss you on the cheek?
What kind of kiss?
Right here or there? On your ear, on your neck?
We are friends right now. I also remind you, behave.
Stop pushing your gonorrhea-assed luck, Loren. Behave. Just look how uncomfortable Faith looks. The prospect of him kissing her disgusts her. So, that being the case, you've got to say, good luck with that idea of your proposal. I don't think she'll be accepting his hand in marriage anytime soon.